Are you afraid of never seeing your family again? Do you hate Russians? Do you want the region where you live to be annexed to Russia? Did you know any of the civilians who lost their lives in the war? In this week's episode of Can't Ask, we are with Taya. Taya is a war victim who can't return to her country. Welcome, Taya.
Thank you for your invitation.
Can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
My name is Taya, and originally, I am from Ukraine. I'm from Chernihiv, to be exact. It's in the north of Ukraine, near the border with Belarus. I had been living there all my life, basically, and 6 months ago, I came to Istanbul. My family is still back there at the moment. Many of my friends are also there. My city is one of the hottest hotspots right now, ever since the war started. The Russians are bombing it right now. They are bombing my city. The air raid sirens are going off almost around the clock, day and night. My family is caught in all this war right now. They are back there in a routine. I call them about 10 times a day on a regular basis. Sometimes the connections are cut off. I check the news 24/7. These are very difficult times for me right now. I am trying to bring my family, especially my mother, to Turkey. But it is very difficult and dangerous right now.
Are you ready to answer the questions asked by our followers?
Yes, I am ready to tell my story.
How did the war affect you and other people?
I remember the morning of February 24th. I got an SMS from my mom. She wrote, "Taya, don't worry, I'm fine." And the war had started. It was 4 hours after the first bombs were dropped. When I called my mom, I heard the bomb alarms going off in the background. It was very loud. And the alarms were a warning for the people there. And that meant that everyone had to go to shelters because it was dangerous to be outside. I try to help all the people there as much as I can. I can say that this war is affecting not only Ukraine, but the whole world, actually. It is good to see that everyone is with Ukraine now and trying to help as much as they can. I am very glad that there are people who stand with us Ukrainians. For 5 days, there's been no heating in my family's house, and the gas has been shut off. There is no electricity, no water. Sometimes I don't even know if my family's alive or not. I communicate with them once a day through my friends and neighbors. Sometimes they send me messages saying that they are still alive. This is what my life is all about. This is my life.
Many women are resisting the war in your country at the moment. What do you think about this?
I wish I was there right now, and I wish I could help my people as a volunteer. I wish I could help them with food, supplies, and I wish I could provide other needs. Right now, many of our women are volunteering to cook for our soldiers who are fighting for our country. They are helping them to find medicine. I hope those who have children were able to leave the country. I hope that they are in a safe environment now, because at the moment, it is not safe to be in Ukraine. In any way, I want to support everyone who wants to leave the country. But right now, it is also very dangerous and difficult to get people out of hotspots like the city where I come from. Because when people try to leave the city, Russian soldiers can shoot people trying to escape. They shoot at buses. They shoot at cars. They don't consider whether there are children or anyone else inside while doing this. Civilians are literally dying on the roads trying to get to safety. At the moment, many organizations and volunteers are trying to help these people get to the west of Poland or other parts of Europe safely. They are trying to find safer routes to reach there, but these roads are sometimes 3 times longer. And they are trying to go through these roads. Sometimes it can take 5 days to get to the borders in the west. And when they get to the border, there are very long queues, and they wait for hours at these borders in order to find a shelter for themselves in Europe.
Do you think Ukraine went into this war thinking that it would have the full support of the Western countries?
First of all, Ukraine did not go to war. We are just defending our country. They just came and occupied our territory. But we never wanted this conflict to happen, and we never thought that there could actually be a war in our country. And of course, we thought that there would be help from NATO and from Europe, but a physical help. I mean, not only economically and financially. And of course, we are grateful for that. But if NATO had closed the airspace in the first place, we would not have lost so many people. And the infrastructure of our country would not have been so damaged. So many schools, kindergartens, churches, cinemas were destroyed because we did not get this support from NATO. They could not close the airspace. We kept saying, please help us. We kept trying to tell people that we need their help badly, but the West, they are afraid of World War III. They are afraid of Putin because they cannot really predict what Putin's next move will be. I think he is a psychopath. He is quite an unpredictable person. Therefore, they are afraid that if they support us, they will find themselves in a bigger war all over the world. So we can actually understand them and their way of thinking. We understand why they can't do more, why they can't help more. But of course, we are always grateful for the weapons and other kinds of support.
Do you hate all Russian people?
No, I don't hate them. But I don't really understand this. How can they be so silent when their own government, their own soldiers are attacking such close neighbors? Russian people have a lot of relatives and friends in Ukraine. And actually, if the Russian people had protested and risen up when the war first started, at least with slogans like, "We don't want war in this region," they could have changed some things from the very beginning. But now they are like prisoners. They can neither share a post nor protest with a piece of paper. And when they do that, when they protest, people in Russia are immediately thrown in jail. And people think that if they do that, they will be in jail for 20 years. Russian people don't want to accept the fact that we are being killed in any way and that they are destroying our country. It is impossible for them to accept this because they have been completely brainwashed in Russia.
What do you think will happen if the war doesn't end?
I don't even want to think about it. I know that Ukraine will win this war. I am 100% sure of that. We are the right one. We are a brave nation. We defend our country. They came to occupy us. They lied to their own people, and they are killing us. But we actually have the power to stop it. I am 100% sure of that. The war will come to an end, and Ukraine will win.
Did you know any of the civilians who have lost their lives in the war?
Yes, I did, of course. One of my friends has not heard a single thing from his family for 2 weeks now, not even a message. Where his family is now, there is no electricity, no communication, no heating, no water, nothing. Every half an hour, their city is very heavily bombed. So we don't actually know if they are alive right now. People are actually starving there, and some volunteers and organizations are taking food to their homes. Another friend of mine has no contact with his family, who are stuck in another dangerous area. We also recently lost the mother of a friend from my hometown, where we both grew up together. She lost her life in the bombing, even though she was taking refuge in a shelter, hoping it would keep her safe. They found her dead in a shelter under a school.
Do you want the region where you live to be annexed to Russia?
No, absolutely not. We are just fighting for our freedom at the moment. We were like brothers with the Russians. We were very close to them. But unfortunately, we saw that their brotherhood was only in words.
What do you think about Volodymyr Zelensky's Russia policy?
I support Volodymyr Zelensky's policy from day one. I actually voted for him. I support him. He stood by Ukraine until the end. He is our hero. He is our Iron Man. We, Ukrainians, believe in this. He will lead us into a great and bright future with Europe. He will never bow down. He will never accept the demands of the Russian government. And he will not allow Russia to take or occupy any part of Ukraine. He is determined to protect his people and defend every part of the land we call home. So we have to fully trust him that he will end this war.
How are the people who remain in Ukraine living in the shelters? How are they able to meet their basic needs?
First of all, there are not enough shelters for everyone in Ukraine. So some people live in the basements. of buildings, or they live in the safest possible places in their homes, in doorways, bathrooms, or places like that where they are less vulnerable to bombs. People cannot reach the shops to buy themselves food or other possible needs. That's why organizations are trying to help children, the elderly and mothers, to get food to sustain themselves.
Were all the remaining citizens of Ukraine forced to arm themselves and fight?
No, they were not forced to fight. A lot of people actually volunteered in order to join the army to defend the country. Everyone wants to fight for their freedom and our country's freedom. My father also is one of those people who wanted to join the army voluntarily, but because there were already enough people armed and fighting, and due to the fact that he was deaf in one ear, they didn't take him to the army. When he was told that he was not eligible to join the army and fight, my father decided to stay with my family. Apart from that, I have many friends who are fighting in the army at the moment. I communicate with them every day. And they say to me, "Don't worry, we are winning the war, and very soon we are going to be able to stop Russia."
Do you think that there will be a winner in this war?
Definitely, Ukraine will win, but we will also lose a lot of people. Many cities have already been damaged, but we will build a new country, a strong country. We are already a very strong country, and we have also shown it to the whole world. No matter how much they say that Russia is the second largest army in the world, we were able to stop them, and we will be able to completely stop them in the future. We proved to the world that we can be a successful European country in the future.
Did the Ukrainians think that this war was going to happen?
Yes, there were already some thoughts and rumors. People were always talking about the possibility that something could go wrong. Because Russia was sending some troops to our borders at that time. We were expecting something, but nobody thought that we would face such a bombing at 4 a.m. None of the civilian people could even think about such a possibility. However, I think that the government and the army knew that there was a strong possibility of a conflict happening.
What do you think about the attitude of America and Europe?
In the beginning, we expected them to join us, stand by our side, and close the airspace, believing that their involvement would change the course of events significantly. But eventually, it became clear that their support was limited to sending arms to the army, falling short of the full-scale help that had initially been hoped for. But also, there is an international legion in Ukraine, and I was very surprised to see that over 20,000 soldiers came to fight with us against Russia. People actually came to Ukraine from all over the world. But in fact, I can say that America and Europe have not helped us physically in any way, because I think they are afraid of the possibility of a World War III. That's why they protect their own people. They choose to save their own resources in case of such a possibility. So they can't do anything.
There are victims of war in our country now. At the moment, you are living here too. Did your family choose not to come here, or couldn't they?
My family told me directly at the very beginning that they did not want to leave. The primary reason for this is that, as I said before, it is already very dangerous to leave the country. They can be killed on the way from one place to another. The second reason is that they don't want to leave the rest of their family. For example, my father and brother cannot leave the country because men are not allowed to leave the country. That's why my mother didn't want to leave her son, my father, and her own mother there. My grandmother is 75 years old. She didn't even think of hitting the road at that age. Older people tend to think like this. I've spent my entire life here, built my home, raised my family, and created all my memories. And now it's better to stay and die here than to go anywhere else and start over. But right now, I am trying very hard for my mother to come here. I am doing everything I can. I am trying to find a car. Because at least if my mom comes, I will be a little calmer. I really want her to reach to a safe place, and I hope that I will be able to do that in the coming days. Because every day, Ukraine is becoming more dangerous for my mother and other Ukrainians.
Are you afraid of never seeing your family again?
Of course I'm afraid, yes. That's why I have panic attacks. I have had panic attacks maybe more than 40 times ever since the war started. That's why I'm taking a lot of medication now, to keep myself calm. But it doesn't help much in a situation like this. That's why I call them all day long. I try to reach them. I want to get at least one message a day about what they're going through. I want to know that they're safe. But, of course, I don't know what safety means now. Right now, I am praying every day, all day long, that one of those bombs doesn't fall on my family and friends. You don't know when it will happen. But I pray every day that the war will come to an end soon, and I will be able to see my family and friends again, alive. And I will celebrate the victory of our country with all my friends and family. That is my only wish and prayer.
What do you want to say after all this? Is there anything you want to add?
In conclusion, I would like to say this. I am proud to be Ukrainian, and the whole world has learned this in this process. We are a brave nation with a soul, one that endures hardship with dignity and stands tall. And we are always ready to fight for our freedom.